Quick intro. My name is Dave Malloy, and I'm a senior customer success manager here at Media Valley. So I've been fortunate enough to work across a number of different roles here at Media Valley, which has really allowed me to kind of gain an insight into where organizations are before they start with Media Valley, the best methods of implementation, and how we can continue to increase the value they receive post onboarding. So our agenda for today. Firstly, we're going to start with a customer success program overview. It's important to understand the customer success program at Media Valley so you can know how to leverage the Media Valley team to ensure you achieve long-term success. We'll cover success planning, which is key to ensuring that the system meets the needs of your users and your organization's goals. And finally, we'll take a look at some of the ways you can bring your dam to the next level through some advanced features. So upon completion of your onboarding, you'll be transitioned to a dedicated customer success manager, or CSM as they're also known. The CSM is here to support you with training, strategy, new features, best practices, and just make sure that you're getting the most out of your digital asset management system. When it comes to thinking about how to expand your use cases and scale the dam, they are your go-to person. Your customer success manager will support you in training your users, aiding adoption by allowing your team to actually feel comfortable on the platform. This may come through one-to-one admin enablement sessions, helping your users maximize the usage of the platform. And additionally, we also offer on-demand training videos and quizzes in our Media Valet Academy. So this will really teach you and your users the foundational Media Valet skills in a really interactive manner. Our customer success program also delivers strategic advice to help you achieve the desired outcome for your business. So the CSM can help you recommend solutions for the right departments to solve your challenges, to increase the value you receive and really continue to evolve your dam. Furthermore, they'll help you monitor the health of your dam performance through success planning, which we'll go through in a moment, and account reviews so that you can really track your dam journey. So some success planning. A great first step post onboarding is to set a 30, 60, 90-day plan for your Media Valet account. And setting these 30, 60, 90-day objectives is crucial for maintaining momentum post onboarding and really building towards that long-term success. These short-term milestones help you establish clear goals for user adoption, system performance, and workflow integration, while providing actionable roadmap for continuous improvement. So in this table, we can see some objectives which enable future growth of our dam. Our 30-day objective is to boost adoption through adding more users and getting them trained up on the system. This was a key answer in that poll. And so some of the ways that we could do this could be through SSO, for example, and provisioning those users to easily access the platform. Then we'll leverage Media Valet Academy to get them trained up. And then a key thing to note in this is that we have some quantifiable measures. So we're really looking to have X number of users added by X date. Our 60-day example is enabling an integration with another piece of our tech stack, such as maybe the Adobe Suite, Rike, and this is really to increase the efficiency of our workflows. For our 90-day objective, in this example, we're choosing to build on our 30-day objective. Perhaps we added the users as a general basic user within the platform. As they've adopted the platform, they've built more specific use cases for their department. And we may want to create an additional group for the sales team, for example, to give them the additional permission to create portals to share that marketing material with their prospects. A success plan is a blueprint of the goals that you and your organization are working towards and what your measures of success are. So we want to be here to help you achieve those goals, and this success plan can help with that. Setting goals and KPIs are key in tracking progress towards the business outcomes that your organization has actually set for the dam. So your goals and KPIs should capture the major benefits that you expect, align with overarching business objectives the organization has, and indicate success in a way that's meaningful to your stakeholders. Doesn't need to be extremely elaborate. The important thing is that all of the stakeholders agree on the criteria and that it's documented so that you can refer back once the project is complete. Some examples of objectives you can see in the top right here might include improving asset retrieval efficiency, ensuring better asset organization, or enhancing collaboration. Next, we've set our objectives, but now we need to understand how we're going to actually make this happen. So we actually set some action plan for us. Some examples being training initiatives to increase overall dam usage, internal audit of teams and assets being added to the dam, or leveraging more custom attributes to increase the discoverability of these assets. So just gives us items that we can begin to work on right away. Unfortunately, in the world of business, it's inevitable that we run into obstacles. So we really try to account for these in the success plan and actually forecast them in advance. That way, we're already generating solutions to potential challenges. We may begin to plan projects to ensure that we have the resources available, or adopt a crawl, walk, run approach to implementing our governance plan. So that could be starting with the initial users, having basic enough permissions and bringing them along as they become more adept in the platform. Finally, a crucial part of success planning is establishing those measurable metrics, which we'll use as our success criteria. So these should be quantitative and time bound. Some examples that we can actually gain from our reporting within Media Valet are user metrics, such as number of users, user adoption rates, active users, operational metrics, number of assets managed, total storage, or we may actually go with qualitative metrics. So assess user satisfaction with the interface, ease of asset retrieval, and the system's ability to integrate with other tools. Key part of this is quantifiable and measurable, and these allow you to say at the end of the year, go back to your stakeholders and say, this is the goals that we set, and here's what we achieved. So looking at some of this reporting, the asset engagement overview enables us to learn more about which are most viewed and downloaded assets. So we can customize for specific periods of time and drill further down based on asset types, categories, user groups by selecting view all assets. And the benefit of this is it really can guide our asset creation process. So if we see white papers about specific topics or events are gaining a lot of traction in the dam, we may actually begin to focus our resources more on developing these types of content. The library reporting tab gives us a high level view of our library with details of storage, asset formats, categories, and uploads. Understanding these metrics could help with achieving success and overcoming obstacles. Remember, we said that internal resources may be tough to come by. From the monthly uploads graph in the bottom right corner, we can see April and May had lots of uploads. So we can begin to plan as to why this might be and actually set us up for success moving forward by having the resources available in these months where specific event might be taking place. We now understand our assets. but what about our users? So who are our champion users and what are the various groups doing within Media Valet based on their specific permissions? So Media Valet works best when you have as many people as possible accessing the correct content. And so this report can really help you to regularly audit your permissions. So some of our advanced features. The first one today is CDN linking. With CDN linking, users can generate direct links or embed codes that can be placed onto various channels and platforms, including websites, email marketing campaigns, email footers, and much more. It allows for faster loading times by serving assets from a distributed network of servers. So as an Irishman, if I access an asset in Ireland, it will cache where possible and enable quicker loading for those viewers in Ireland and the EU. This has many benefits, but in particular SEO benefits by improving the load time of websites. So it really enables the dam to be that kind of single source of truth by automatically updating assets anywhere they're linked, if new versions are created. Face recognition. So Media Valet's face recognition enables permitted users to easily manage and organize their digital asset library by detecting and tagging faces within their images. So with this feature, users can efficiently locate images featuring specific individuals and really streamline that image selection process. The great thing with it is if we add names to detected faces, the face recognition feature will automatically tag them for future uploads. So we've seen some really, really great use cases from clients such as the University of Tulsa using it for commencement photos and student graduation collages, Miami-Dade utilizing this feature to streamline tagging photos of their mayor, and other clients using it to actually hide content for which they no longer have permission to use. Finally, we have our Adobe Creative Cloud integration, which is powered through our partner CI Hub. So this offers a seamless integration between the Media Valet library and creative tools such as the Adobe Suite or Figma. So it offers complete version history as well as full Adobe linking support. CI Hub, the fantastic thing about it is it's actually a plugin which lives within the Adobe Suite and has an identical UI across all of the Adobe programs. This for you, maybe as an admin, means less training and more scalability. It offers not only connections into DAMs, but generic cloud storage providers and stock image providers. So you can access multiple different databases at the same time, and you can toggle between each, which is just an extreme time saver for your creatives. So it allows you to get access to the most up-to-date content when you're actually building out, maybe it's brochures, posters, and you can actually then upload these directly to Media Valet from within the Adobe Suite. So enable your creatives to work where they want to work, but allow you to actually reap the rewards of that content in the DAM. So that's the majority of what we're going to cover today, folks. I will open the floor to questions. Hey, Becca, just saw your message in the chat. I'm struggling to get my time to make the most out of the dam. Any suggestions on how to increase team eagerness? That is a great question. We've seen some really innovative ways that some of our clients have rolled this out. So One that's of note is the Fred Rogers company actually created like a treasure hunt within the dam. And so what this did was they asked users to go and find specific images, and they were actually rewarded with prizes upon finding those images. It allowed people to actually just log into the platform, play around with it and see it, and then gave them the kind of gamification of going and finding those assets. Another way is through, we could do maybe office hours where team members can meet with either yourself as the admin or maybe the Media Valet team as well to ask the questions that they have on their mind or that may be avoiding adoption. Final way I would say is we've seen branded portals be a really effective way of easing users into actually utilizing the dam. So branded portals are like a curated microsite that you can build out with specific sections and offer some resources to those users. The great thing is, as say I've seen it with sales teams in particular, as they come in, they utilize the branded portals, then they want to go and create their own, or they want to actually find that asset and share it in a different way. So builds it through just ease of adoption and allows you to really get those users engaged. Good question. You mentioned about Adobe Creative product integration. How does video file path usage work within Media Valet's DAM? I might ask you, Jesse, to clarify on what you mean by video file path usage work, just in the chat. But essentially, within Premiere, you'll be able to access the DAM through a little bar on the right hand side that is CI Hub. And then it'll have a links tab that'll act kind of similar to the native links within the Adobe suite. Um, from here, we can upload new versions of the asset directly. We can upload new assets completely, and you can just drag assets into that guider box in the bottom left. You'll have to excuse my lack of Adobe terms, and then you can begin to drag them into your projects. Andrew, how did Fred Rogers gamify the dam? I would love to hear more. Did they give a list to users? Correct. So every Friday, they would set up a competition of there's a specific asset in the dam. We want you to find it. Users would be sent out an email at a specific time. They'd go try and access that asset, and the first one to reply back received that prize. So it was just a really easy way to get people involved in the dam, and make it a bit more fun. You talked about face recognition features. I understand this works well for still images, but not necessarily for video. Can you review what AI features are available for video? Yeah, great question. So we actually have two AI models here at Media, or three AI models, I'll say. Um, so we have our face recognition for images, which is what we discussed here today. And we also have our audio video intelligence. So we can run what we call AVI, so audiovisual intelligence, for the specific assets we choose. And the reason for that is you may have B-roll, you don't want to run it through AVI every time and have an obscene amount of tags for every single video. So when you run the video through AVI, it'll detect people, objects, tags, brands, keywords, emotions, key scenes, and much, much more. It'll also generate a transcript of all of the spoken word, which can actually be translated into over 50 different languages and applied as closed captions within Media Valet. So some really great features there. The key one is the people that you touched on. So the best practice for this is if they appear within, I believe it's 5 seconds of the video. is best for that AI, and then you can tag those people. Great thing is then, similar to the image, as those new or as those people are tagged, a name is given to them. Any future videos we add will recognize that person and give them that name as well. So there's some really great examples, and I'd advise reaching out to maybe your customer success manager to discuss that further and actually walk you through it. Is it possible to send direct links to a small folder of photos? I'm thinking of my sales team who often get specific requests for photos and need to send a small curated set of shots. What I would advise here, Kristen, is to use our web gallery feature. And the great thing is with this is it's really ad hoc, and we can actually add some permissions to tailor how those users will see it. So you can go grab 5, 6 assets, depending on who that person is that's needing to receive those assets. And then you can set specific permissions based on that web gallery. So we can allow downloads or not allow downloads. We can allow it to be a dynamic web gallery link, which means if we update the version, the asset will update as well. We can set a password. Actually, I'll correct myself. Oh no, we can set a password, and we can actually create renditions. So say if we have JPEGs in the DAM, but this specific partner that we're working with requires PNG, we can really quickly create renditions of those assets. Jesse, we have clarification. So if files are renamed or moved in Media Valet, will it break the path in Premiere like it traditionally does when working with native files that live on the computer or network drive? So really great question. It actually uses the object ID to scan your library. So you can move it around lots of different categories, and it will never actually, it will always find it within Media Valet. So because we're utilizing the object ID, not the file name, it actually makes that asset linking really efficient. In terms of changing the file name, so long as it's that same asset, so if you checked in and checked out the asset or updated the version, it will then be able to find it once again based on that object ID. Some great questions coming in. Does AI recognition help with tagging equipment or items that could be in a catalog? So the best thing about Media Valet, you'll remember I corrected myself. I said 2. We actually have 3. The third type of cognitive intelligence that we have is our image detection. So when you add any image, you add PDFs, you add documents, upon ingestion, Media Valet will actually do a scan of everything that appears within that particular asset, and it will create tags based on common objects, common color, and text that appears within the image. So if we had, for example, a picture of, we'll say a brochure in this case. If we had a brochure in the DAM, it will pick up on one, that it's a brochure, ideally, and it will pick up on the various different products which appear within this brochure or scenes which actually appear within this brochure. Next, if it's a yellow brochure, you'll be able to see that it's a yellow brochure. And then finally, it'll pick up on, let's say, for example, it's a summer sale brochure. So the great thing is that now we have those 3 different types of cognitive metadata picked up. We can actually then search across all of those aspects. So we can head to the search bar in the top left. We can search brochure with X product yellow, because we remember it was a yellow background, and summer sale because we know that that's written text within the image or PDF, for example. So that's the ways that we can leverage that. If you need to find it and you want to see what's actually being picked up in your AI, head to the detailed info, and down the bottom left, you'll be able to see the image recognition and you can flick between them. Great question. Can expiration dates be assigned to assets? If there is an asset with a limited time promotion, could we actually have it removed? Great question. And this reminds me, with the web galleries, we can also add an expiry date to those. But yes, for your general assets, you can add an expiry date. So what will happen is as we reach that expiry date, we will the asset will be set to rejected. So it won't actually be deleted from your library, but only those with the correct permissions will be able to see it. It will also be pulled from any branded portals that it appears in. It'll be pulled from web galleries that it appears in, or if we have any CDN links generated with that asset. I'm going to see, can we flick back quickly to our library view, and we can actually see that in the top right-hand side, we can see 2 assets expired and 3 assets with future expiry date. So in these reports, excuse me, we can actually begin to plan for those assets that are expiring soon, ensure that we're keeping an eye on them so they aren't pulled from places that we don't want them to be pulled for. But it allows you to, exactly as you said, pull assets from that limited time promotion. And with the face recognition, it's also great if we don't have the release form or licensing for that content any further. Can you review where consent forms can be uploaded or attached with photos/video clips? Great question. So this is a fantastic use for the related assets function. So this is something I regularly do with my clients. When we have, say, an image of a specific talent that we're working with, we have that asset and we also have the release form. If you head into the detailed information of that asset and head all the way over to the right-hand side, just beside the links tab, you'll see related assets. And so we can add this release form as a related asset to our image of the talent. And the great thing is it's a reciprocal relationship. So if we click into the related assets of the release form, we'll also see that talent photo. So you can relate all of the assets from, say, a particular shoot to that release form, and then users will be able to easily find it. The bonus I always kind of advise to clients as well is that it can be good to have this in the attributes. So one of my clients has release form required, yes, and the form is attached, yes, and the form is missing, no release form required. And this allows them to kind of give guidance to users on how to utilize that content. Can you set up multiple expiry dates for a single asset? Yes, obviously they'd have to be consecutive. So we could set one for maybe 3 months time. And then once that expires, we can actually move it later on, but we wouldn't be able to kind of set multiple expiries at the same time because the system wouldn't really know which one it is. But you can always set it for 3 months time. Once we are reaching that point where assets with future expiry date are coming up on us, and then we can push that out further or remove it if we need to. Good question. Perfect. Some really, really good questions there. What I would suggest is if you've further questions on anything that we've discussed here today, feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. We've covered what they can do for you, and they're always eager to get involved to help you in developing your dam and bringing it to the next level. So Really appreciate your attention and the great questions today. If you do have questions, reach out, and I'd highly recommend attending the University of Tulsa session later, where we'll be covering some really exciting use cases. So thank you very much, folks. We'll chat to you soon.